The Pittsburgh Steelers took care of business against the Los Angeles Chargers. They get a 20-10 win. Justin Fields more and more starts to look more like the answer at quarterback for the Steelers. And I'm not just saying for this season, but long term, because he's quietly starting to get better every single game. The first couple of games, they were scared to ask him to do too much, but late in the fourth quarter against the LA Chargers, he had a 50-something yard touchdown pass to Calvin Austin. And it looks like Arthur Smith and Mike Tomlin now are opening up the playbook to Justin Fields a little bit more. They got a little bit more confidence in him throwing the football, especially in the second half of these games. And for Justin Fields right now, you have to be the clear-cut QB1 for the rest of this season. Even if Russell Wilson is fully healthy, he's ready to go, he's the answer right now at quarterback. He gives the Steelers the best chance to win because you got more big play potential with him in. He had a nice throw downfield to George Pickens at some point during this game. He is more explosive running the football. Even though he didn't do much on the ground in this game, he did have a rushing touchdown. And Justin Fields has accounted for all three of the Steelers' touchdowns that they've scored so far this season. And for Russell Wilson, I don't really see the point in starting him over Justin Fields because you know what you have in Russ at this point. You got a guy who's an aging veteran. He's struggling to stay healthy. And when you got a guy that has the age that Russ has and he has these injury problems, it's a little bit of a sign that he's starting to decline. Because those injuries, especially those calf injuries, normally when you have to deal with them early into the season, you're never really able to completely shake from them, and it hinders your play. And Russell Wilson doesn't have the same athletic ability that Justin Fields has to make the Steelers' offense as good as what it's been so far. Yeah, scoring 20-point still isn't all that impressive, but Russ wouldn't be able to do that better because he can't extend plays and he can't be a factor in the run game. Justin Fields brings a dynamic element to the Steelers' offense that they haven't had since Big Ben retired. He can just do so much, and he just makes it so hard to defend your offense because you don't know what you're going to do with Justin. You could use a design quarterback run with him. You can end up getting play action going with him. He has a great arm. He's pretty accurate throwing the football downfield. I want Justin Fields to be the starter for the rest of this year because I want to see what this dude has. I want to see how good Justin Fields is with a high-level organization. You see how much of a shit show things are right now with the Chicago Bears and Caleb Williams. Chicago has shown that they're a quarterback graveyard. You go to Chicago, that's where you go to die when it comes to your career as a quarterback in the NFL. The locker room is rallying behind Justin Fields. He has the Steelers 3-0 right now. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. The Steelers are winning games. Allow Justin Fields to continue to get more comfortable in this offense. We don't need to see anything out of Russell Wilson. If anything, you want to see a young guy in Justin Fields completely leaving no doubt that he's the better of the two options. If Russell Wilson was outright better than Justin Fields, I guarantee that he would be starting right now. Because if you believe that Russell Wilson is this good, if you're Mike Tomlin, you believe that even if he's at 70, 80%, he's not fully healthy, he still gives you a better chance to win than what Justin Fields does. But he doesn't, which is why Mike Tomlin has kind of come to reality that Justin Fields is the guy. I think what has happened is that it was set in stone that Russ was going to be the starting quarterback. Despite how well Justin Fields was playing in the preseason and training camp, Mike Tomlin and Arthur Smith wanted to throw Russell Wilson out there. But with them dealing with that calf injury, they had no choice but to go with Justin Fields. And he kind of has exceeded their expectations to the point you're in a situation now, you probably promised Russell Wilson an opportunity to start this year. But he's playing so good, you're 3-0. Why would you bench him? It's working. There's no way to get away from it. And you're not really going to get any better of Russell Wilson that much. You might as well keep riding with the hot hand. That's what these quarterback battles are all about. When you have a quarterback controversy, you ruin it when you end up benching the hot guy. Right now, Justin Fields is hot. He's playing winning football for Pittsburgh. He did throw an interception against the Chargers, but it was a tip pass. I don't really put it on him. He's been playing mistake-free football for the majority of this season up to this point. Something that we didn't see him do that much in Chicago. He actually was able to win the game for the Steelers in the fourth quarter. Remember, since 2021, Justin Fields has been the NFL's worst performing quarterback in the fourth quarter of games. So with him to play as well as what he did in the final 15 minutes against the Los Angeles Chargers shows the growth that Justin Fields is making as the starting QB for Pittsburgh. There's no reason to take this dude out. Now, I got some takes about the Los Angeles Chargers in this game. The Steelers defense is playing extraordinary. They haven't allowed more than 10 points in the game these first 3 weeks of the season. They've been shut down when it comes to their run defense. They held the Chargers to under 100 yards. And you know the identity of the Chargers this year, Jim Harbaugh as the head coach, is running the football, being a physical team. But the Chargers were unable to do that because they're beat up front. You got injuries to Joey Bosa on the D-line. He got injured really early into this game, early in the first quarter. Rashawn Slater, one of your starting tackles, he got injured. Justin Herbert had to leave in the fourth quarter because he aggravated that ankle injury. The Chargers were really hot, but now they're starting to cool off a little bit. Even though this is one loss, if Justin Herbert has to miss extended time or he has to play with this ankle injury, and you also got to deal with the injuries to Joey Bosa and Rashawn Slater, you're in trouble. Because you never were really that deep anyway coming into this year, and you weren't really the most talented team. The main reason why I've been high on the Chargers, and most people in the media have been high on the Chargers, is because Jim Harbaugh is such a good coach that you can give him an average roster, and he can elevate it to being a playoff team due to how good of a coach he is. You got a good defense coached by Jesse Minter. You don't make a lot of mistakes, and Jim Harbaugh's style of winning has worked everywhere he's been. But if you don't have a capable quarterback and you can't protect Justin Herbert, then you pretty much have a situation where you're a lame duck. You know, and it's similar to last year. The Chargers couldn't protect J. Herb, and he was dealing with injuries, and that's why 2023 went so left for Brandon Staley and company. Even if your defense does play well, they can keep you in games. You got to have a quarterback that can make a few throws that can win you the ball game, and you don't really have that with the backup that you have in. And if Justin Herbert has to miss significant time or he's playing through this injury, it drastically alters the trajectory that the Chargers season was on with this injury. But this was a well-played game by the Pittsburgh Steelers. Even though the Chargers aren't a great offensive team, you know, they still are a team that, you know, they can pound you up front if you're not stout when it comes to your run defense and if you don't have guys in the trenches. And this is quietly becoming one of the better defenses that Mike Tomlin has had as the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. The secondary is pretty good, although they did allow Quentin Johnson to score a touchdown early. You didn't really see them giving up too many big plays after that. The run defense is stout. This is a complete defense that the Steelers have this year. You got a few injuries, but you got a lot of depth to overcome them as well. So I love the way that the Steelers are playing, and your schedule isn't that tough. You got the Colts coming up. You can win that game, be 4-0. You can split with Baltimore and Cincinnati. And you also got to play a few other teams that aren't that good, like the Washington Commanders and whatnot. So the Steelers definitely, on the path that they have right now, could find themselves not just being a playoff team, but being AFC North champions this year, even though it wasn't really expected coming into this season due to the uncertainty that they had at the quarterback position.